Today is the first day that the birding trail is open at Fort Sheridan Forest Preserve. I look back at my records. I looked at the Facebook page, Facebook group that was created to share information about the status of Fort Sheridan. And that was created in April of 2009. And today is August 31st, 2019. It's been 10 years. Not all of them fun. From the first public hearings to opening of this trail. And you know, it's great. It's great to see a lot of people out here walking the trail. And off over my right shoulder is the Hawk Watch. And they're got a great view to the north of migrating hawks under the leadership of some great birders like Adam Sell and others. And it's just a wonderful day, and it's wonderful to be out here. And if you haven't experienced Fort Sheridan Forest Preserve, now is the time to get out here and walk the trails, walk along the lake shore, and just enjoy the natural beauty and access to the Great Lake, Michigan. I'm sitting here on what might have been the 18th hole. Behind me is the retention basin, commonly known as Patton's Pond, and in front of me is Lake Michigan. It's a magnificent spot. It would have been a beautiful spot for a golf, of course. But what it is a beautiful spot being enjoyed by so many people on this first day that the path is open. It's almost been a parade of people streaming, most of whom are doing the entire loop. Some are just coming up and coming to the overlook over the lake. But getting a project like this done, a lot of people have held me responsible for that, and that's really not accurate. I think in any public movement, it's really important, certainly to have people who will step up and lead, but also to have a lot of people who will be with you at important times, who will show up at board meetings, at committee meetings of elected officials, and write letters, make calls, and participate, and let those who are making the decision know how they feel. Because one thing for sure, and that is there are people who don't agree with you who are in fact doing just that. So you've got to be a force a counter force to make your point. So we're coming up on the west end of Fort Sheridan. This is actually my favorite space. I know that Lake Michigan and the overlook is the big crowd pleaser, but for me, this area near the cemetery parking lot, and at the west end you can even see the cars from Sheridan Road going by, is really just a gorgeous place. It's the kind of head end of the ravine. It's great for nesting red-headed woodpeckers. And on the other side of this, so here we've got the ravine down here, and then on the other side of the ravine is this great little wetland. You wouldn't even know it except for seeing what's growing in here, cattails and the like. And in spring, this is just can be really a great duck heaven and a great habitat for all kinds of different birds. You can just pull up a chair, bring one, and hang out here and do all of the birding that you'd want to do. And I just love this. And the funny part is that in one of our many meetings talking about Fort Sheridan, one of the people who wasn't very excited about this becoming a forest preserve for public use as we're seeing it, referred to this area specifically as that area up there in the west end. It's just a waste of space. So yeah, it's a great waste of space, and I just love it. One thing that everybody agreed on with Fort Sheridan once we decided it was going to be a forest preserve was that this area from Fort Sheridan Road to the lake, this gap would be kept open, and it became an ecological tug of war. One side really wanted this to remain a prairie so that it could become a place for a grassland for grassland birds and nesting habitat. And the Forest Preserve had the idea that this area really should be savanna, based on their heavy oak initiative, as well as their sense that the history of this area suggested it should be. And those of us who wanted it to be a grassland were mainly arguing about the value of preserving grasslands for grassland birds to nest. Well, as it turned out, the Forest Preserve, in their own inimitable way, won that one. They went out and bought the trees without much of us knowing about it, and it was sort of a fait accompli. So you can't really see anything now. These are young oak trees, and it will take years to grow, but that will impact the ability of this area to support nesting grassland birds. Tried to get an opinion from some of the leading scientists on this issue, how big of an area you really needed, and they either didn't know or were reluctant to weigh in on that issue. So we didn't have a real strong argument to say that this would be grasslands, and ultimately the Forest Preserve acknowledged that it could be a grassland or that it could be a savanna, and they felt that it should be a savanna. So savanna, grassland, tomato, it remains a beautiful open area with a great view of Lake Michigan. They put a bench in, so you can really just relax and enjoy it. So people ask me about Plan C, and basically Plan C is what you see behind me. Plan C is the plan that the county did not come up with for parking and accessibility to the bluff. This parking lot was supposed to be Plan A, and Plan B, as proposed by the county, was going to be somewhere out close to Sheridan Road. It was going to hold 30 cars, and we came to a public hearing and we showed them Plan C. They did not want us to even put up Plan C, but we forced our way into this hearing, put up our board on Plan C, and when the public arrived and were putting pins on what they liked, everybody liked Plan C. At the end of the day, with some modification, Plan C is basically what was adopted by the county, which put a parking lot closer to the bluff, and also increased the number of spaces to 45, of which 5 of them are disability spots and the other 40 are regular spots.